If it doesn't work out the first time, try again. If it doesn't work the second or the third or even the 15th time, try again. Remember Thomas Edison, 1,093 patents. How many times do you think he had to try again? Welcome to another episode of the Workforce Link podcast. I'm your host, Sunday Joe. Happy to be here again with you today, where we're offering forward-thinking conversations for the workforce, linking employers and job seekers to a brighter tomorrow. So you might have heard it said before that failure can be your friend. So what do you think? Is that true? We're going to find out in today's episode. You know, many of us try so hard to avoid failure, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think we need to get a better understanding of what failure actually means. But before we dive into today's episode, I want to ask you a huge favor. If you haven't already, would you mind heading over to wherever it is that you listen to this podcast and leave us a review? Let us know what you enjoy about the show. Let us know what you hate about the show if you want, preferably positive, but hey. It means a lot to us, really, and it helps us stay visible so that others can easily find us, and that's our goal. We want to help as many people as possible with this podcast. So, now that we've taken care of a little business, let's dive into today's episode on what we need to know about failure in order to find success. If you look up the definition of failure, Google's going to tell you that it simply means a lack of success. But I want to ask you that question. What do you think failure actually is? What do you think failure actually is? You know, what if we changed our perspective on failure? What if we actually saw it as something that takes us towards the next step that we're going to take in our lives? So what do I mean by that? Not everything that we do is going to happen the way we expected it to happen, right? Not everything that we try in life is going to just be so awesome and people are going to meet us at the end of the driveway with streamers and balloons, right? Does that mean that we don't try? Absolutely not. I want to encourage you with this. If you are failing or have failed at something, you know what that means? It means you are the type of person who is willing to take risks. That, my friend, is worth paying attention to. If you are willing to risk something, knowing that you might very well fail, guess what? You're much more likely to succeed in reaching your potential. Here's the thing. Failure really isn't the problem. It's being afraid to fail that's the problem. If you're not willing to fail, it's going to be much harder to succeed. Let me say that one more time. If you're not willing to fail, it's going to be much harder to succeed. So with that, let's dive into 3 things that we need to know about failure in order to find success. Number 1, failure is one of our greatest teachers. So what we learn from our failures is it's such a great opportunity, but we have to be willing to take that opportunity. Why? Because when failure happens, and it's going to happen, right? You get the opportunity to look back at what happened and figure out what didn't work, and then figure out what you need to do to move forward. So in the military, they use something that's called the after-action review. So after each event, soldiers, they have this deep discussion on what happened, why it happened, and then they talk about how to keep performing with the strengths that are working, as well as how to improve on the weaknesses that they found in that specific event. So every after-action review includes feedback from every participant, whether it's the senior leader down to each soldier. There is no observation of the event that is considered higher than the other. Everybody's input matters 100%. So whether you're the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, you own a small business that has 10 employees, or you're just a job seeker that's trying to land your dream job, using this tool, this after-action review, can take you to the next level of success. Sometimes we have to think backwards to get there, right? And that's exactly what the after action review does. Leadership guru, one of my favorite authors, favorite leadership guys, Michael Hyatt says, thinking backwards will allow you to learn and move into a better future. So there are 4 key steps that he talks about to take action when doing an action after review. Number 1, state what you wanted to happen. State what you wanted to happen. Number 2, acknowledge what actually happened. Acknowledge what actually happened. Number 3, learn from the experience. Learn from the experience. And number 4, adjust your behavior. Adjust your behavior. Hyatt talks about this more in an article that he wrote several years ago. It's called How to Use Your Past to Make the Most of Your Future. And I will link to it in the show notes. It's definitely worth the read. You know, failure can be a great teacher to us if we allow it to be. When you fail, then you take what you've learned from that experience. Guess what? You're only going to get stronger. You're only going to get more determined if you stay the course. If. Because failure brings resiliency. So Thomas Edison is quoted as saying, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." We've probably all heard that quote a time or two, right? What if he would have given up on the first try? What if he would have quit the first time somebody looked at him and said, "Electric light? Really, buddy? I think you're probably off your rocker." His willingness to keep going, it totally changed history. Do you know what I bet he did each time? An after-action review. He probably asked things like, okay, what did I want to happen with this electric current? What actually happened? What can I learn from this experiment? What can I adjust to make it better? Guess what? By the time Edison died, he had over 1,093 patents. 1,093 patents. I'd say that he experienced some failure in his lifetime, but what does that tell us? That dude never quit. Hey friend, just want to interrupt for a quick second to tell you about something really amazing that's happening in the central region of Missouri right now. I want to talk about apprenticeships. And what some have called a dying industry, the Missouri Office of Apprenticeship and Work-Based Learning says differently. The Central Workforce Development Region is excited to partner with the Department of Higher Education and Workforce Development to offer Missouri Apprentice Connect, providing hundreds of opportunities in Central Missouri for a variety of apprenticeship opportunities. So what in the world is an apprenticeship, you might be asking? It's an industry-driven, high-quality career pathway in which workers can obtain paid work experience, classroom instruction, and a transferable credential while job creators develop and prepare their future workforce. Sounds like a winner, right? Apprenticeships offer a flexible training model that can be customized to meet the needs of every business and industry, a viable tool for the state to use to give Missourians the necessary skills to succeed, an affordable approach to training and education for the employer and the job seeker, an opportunity to earn a paycheck while learning from day one, reducing the potential to take on student debt. We certainly do not need more of that, right? Workers who complete apprenticeship programs earn an average, listen to this, earn an average of $300,000 more over their career when compared to peers who don't. That sounds like pretty good news. Makes you want to sign up right away, doesn't it? 94% of apprentices retain employment after completing an apprenticeship program. 94%. So if you're a training provider or an employer who wants to invest in this exciting opportunity, now is the time. If you're looking for a bridge between school and a profitable career, an apprenticeship is the answer for you, my friend. Take the next step today and learn more at cwdregion.com/MoAppConnect. That's cwdregion.com/MoAppConnect. Now let's get back to the 3 things that we need to know about failure in order to find success. Okay, so the number one thing that we need to know about failure in order to find success is that failure is one of our greatest teachers. The second thing we need to know is that failing is much better than never trying. Hockey superstar Wayne Gretzky says, "You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take." Mic drop right there. Boom. If something is worth it, listen, if something is worth it, my friend, you're going to have to work hard to achieve it. Wrap your head around whatever it is that you're going to pursue before you even get started, that it's going to take work. It's going to take some work. If you've already started pursuing your dream, that's okay. It's not too late to remember this. It's going to take work. But if you don't take the steps to start moving forward, you're never going to achieve success. You've let fear win, and let's just be frank, ain't nobody got time for that, right? If it doesn't work out the first time, try again. If it doesn't work the second or the third or even the 15th time, try again. Remember Thomas Edison, 1,093 patents. How many times do you think he had to try again? If you want it bad enough, you will keep trying. Do you want that dream job? What are you willing to do to try to get there? Do you want to own your own business? What are you willing to do to try to get there? If you've been too busy being afraid of failing that you haven't taken any steps, I want you to take a second and I want you to do something with me, okay? I want you to picture yourself a year from now, 365 days from now. Where are you? What are you doing? Where are you going? What's happening around you? Who is with you? 365 days from now, where are you? What are you doing? Where are you going? What's happening around you? Who's with you? If you're picturing this and you're still stuck in the same spot that you are today, my friend, listen. You have to let go of the fear of failure. You have to let go of the fear of failure. You are made for far more than staying stuck right where you are. Time to get out of the pit. All right, number 3. Failure is going to happen. Failure is going to happen. It's a guaranteed part of life. But if you spend your whole life afraid of it, you are never going to live. My friend, there is a great life out there waiting for you. Waiting for you. Not your friend, not your sister, not your mama. You. And you might just have to be willing to fail to find it. I'm going to say that again. You might just have to be willing to fail to find it. So the question is, are you willing? Start looking at failure as a learning experience. Then take the lessons you've learned, figure out what the next right steps are to get to success. You are the only one, my friend, who will keep yourself from success. You are the only one who will keep yourself from success. So, what did we learn today? Failure is one of our greatest teachers. Failing is much better than never trying. And failure is absolutely going to happen. You've got this. I hope this episode was helpful for you today. And if it was, feel free to share it with somebody else. And if you haven't already, don't forget to go leave us a review, preferably 5-star. Have a great week, my friends, and we will meet again in the next episode. Until then, remember this: there's always a brighter tomorrow if you're willing to find it. The Central Region Workforce Development Board Incorporated and COPIC are equal opportunity employers and programs. Auxiliary aids and services are available upon request to individuals with disabilities. Missouri Relay Services at 711.